Good afternoon, this is Jack from the ArtChart.net, and this is an intraday video for Thursday the 4th of January. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and we're not here to issue trading signals. Now, I'm going to repeat some of the stuff I did in the pre-market video this morning, and that's just because this is going out to a wider audience this afternoon. It's only going to take a minute or so at the beginning. Now, as I was saying this morning, on SPX, this is the daily chart, and this is not an EOD chart, so obviously this is current. Another nice move up today. We entered the year on daily RSI 14 and RSI 5 sell signals. Now, daily RSI 14 sell signals, they can wait a while. RSI 5, not so much. This is a highly unusual situation with a strongly uptrending market in the teeth of some pretty serious sell signals. On ES, this is an EOD one, so it's not up to date, but we also have daily RSI 14 and RSI 5 sell signals. Now, the question here is, are we looking at a very unusual artifact of basically a bearish end of year and a bullish start of the year? Are we looking at something that doesn't actually mean anything in the greater overall technical picture, or are we looking at something which is suggesting strongly that we're going to see a reversal, and quite a strong reversal, probably in the very near future? Don't know. We shall see. But in the short term, what I would say is, hang on a second, just get the ES chart up. Right, hang on. Okay, now, looking at this is the ES chart. Now, in the short term, we do have a bit of an aid now because we've got this rising channel here, and this performed very well overnight. We had a nice move to channel support, drew this in last night, and then this morning we've had a move up to channel resistance. That held like a champ. Looks like it's going to probably be retested soon. We're on a possible 60-minute sell signal. Now, what I was saying this morning was that the bears aren't really in with a shot at all until the channel breaks down. I've got that channel support currently at about the 27.20 area. If that breaks, then there is the possible setup for a fairly serious rejection here. If that doesn't break, then we're still on the channel. But at the moment, the obvious next target is a hit of channel support. In a bullish move, you'll quite often find that hit is at more or less the same level. So I didn't short 29 when it hit this morning because for all I knew, it was just going to trade sideways and just end up touching it at 29. That's pretty much what it did overnight. You see it touched it at 27.14, more or less tested it at the same level. So far, we've actually pretty much been doing that, but we did have a 7-point decline, a 7.5 handle, which actually wasn't bad. So we didn't get back to wedge to channel support and I wasn't really expecting it to. Now, we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here, and on NQ we have all the trend lines I had in this morning have broken, and the 60-minute sell signal that's fixed. This is potentially pretty bearish. On TF was the standout, and I was saying this yesterday that this was the important unfinished business above, because TF, having broken up first really of the indices towards the all-time high retest, actually managed to reach it last. But we did reach it this morning. We've got new all-time highs on TF. We've got them on RUT. We have completed all of the all-time highs on SPX, NES, and NDX, and NQ, and RUT, and TF. Those are all done now. Those are no longer outstanding targets above. That doesn't mean it's going to reverse here, but it means it's more likely to. I.e. there's no unfinished business above that obviously looks as though it needs to be made before we can see a reversal. And as I said, I've got quite a lot of sell signals here. I'm watching those with interest. I don't think this is worth shorting on the basis of those. I think people have came into the week short have obviously had a very painful week. I'm no enthusiasm to join their number, but if we break below that ES rising channel support, then the longs are on notice. So we'll see. 27.20 at the moment. We'll see how that holds. Right, DX. Likely this is a return to retest this low. We've got unfinished business below at the retest of the important low at 90.99, and that was the 2017 low, pretty much the decade low, I think. No, 5-year low. But that is likely to be below, but could we see a rally in the interim to take us back to the 92.5 area? Yeah, we could, and that would obviously be a match with the monthly pivot. So we may well see that. CL. This has, I'm just going to flip over to the RTH charts again. Obviously, we've been looking for a test of this trend line here, and this last night was slightly over 62, and obviously we've spent a bit of the day slightly over 62. We have hit this trend line. That's hit target. This is a wedge. This could overthrow slightly. It's not showing any signs of overthrowing a lot. This is an end of day chart, so today's moves, which should change it a lot onto this. This is an EOD chart too. This is resistance again about the 62.25 area. I think that has been hit, and that will update to show that this evening. We have a 60-minute sell signal has fixed, and this looks like topping action, although this could be a bull flag setting up a retest of the high before a more significant retracement. I think one way or another there's a pretty good chance that the high is going to retest. Not necessarily from here, but if this is a bull flag, then we'll probably see a move to about 61.50 next. If this isn't a bull flag, then we could well see a move to wedge support and a bounce there, or from just below it. 60-minute sell signal is bearish. I'm liking the downside here, and we've made our targets beautifully. I was talking about this week about this probably being the top trade of next week. I think this may actually be becoming the top trade of this week. That's depending on when exactly we get the ideal entry level. Last week's ideal trade was, of course, NG, and this has gone. We were looking for a retracement back to backtest monthly, weekly pivot support to 86.28, and we got it. We're here. So is it going to stop here? Well, we've made the sell signal target. I don't have any positive divergence. Maybe this low is going to need a retest to set up some positive divergence. But at the moment, we've reached this obvious support area. It's holding so far. This is about slightly less than 50% retrace. Might need a little lower, but this is where we were looking to add back. Actually, I've just added back on mine. So not expecting to see this much lower. If we get significantly under 280, I'll be getting a bit concerned. Under 2.75, I'll be starting to wonder about a retest of this low, which would not probably be the second low of a double bottom. But as it is, this looks like a reload into higher, and we're looking for a higher high over this high here in the fairly near future. GC. Now, on GC last night, I was talking, about this being a likely bull flag forming. It's broken up. It has made target at a minimum retest of the high. This could be the second high of a double top forming. Am I seeing strong evidence for that? I have to go with no. But nonetheless, it could well be, or it may be that this retracement has just set up a more sustainable rising support trend line. However, I would have preferred it went to hit this for that and tested the weekly pivot. So there's a good double target there, which we didn't hit. And it may well be that's going to increase the odds that we turn back down here. And at least try and break down from a double top. But really, GC has not been something to be standing in the way of here. This is going to be a counter-trend retracement if we see it. So I think on these sort of retracements, it's the long at the low, which is interesting. It's not particularly interesting on the short side. And on GC, looking at it the last week, I don't think it's at all interesting on the short side. So mainly looking for a load long at a back test, ideally of the weekly pivot or possibly the monthly pivot. ZB. Now, ZB is still kicking around here. I am wondering whether we are forming a larger bear flag. Now, I drew the line here. We went slightly below it, but I just think this is still potentially doable as a bear flag channel. It's looking slightly oversized. This could deliver a move to test the monthly pivot at 152.21. It should respect that. I'm not expecting to see this high here retested unless we're going a bit higher. But at the moment, this should be sacrosanct. The monthly pivot should hold as resistance, and we may be topping out here. But what I was saying this morning that we needed to see lower lows, and this is what happens when you don't get lower lows. So can we do lower lows directly from here? Yes, but we might need a test of the monthly pivot. That's what I was mentioning this morning, and that's not become any less likely with the action today. Okay, HG. HG still looks like it's topping out. This still looks like a bull flag, and it looks as though the bull flag is still forming. hang on, I'm just going to draw a trend line here quickly and just see whether this is a decent flag channel. Let's have a look. Okay. And the answer to that is nope. Might be a flag megaphone, but it's not a decent flag channel at the moment. But I think, what are the odds of this breaking up into at least a retest of the high before any significant downside? Pretty high, in my view. So I'm expecting to see that sooner rather than later. I thought it might be breaking up this morning with gold, but gold has made the retest of the all-time high. Of the recent high, and HG hasn't. HG, I think that's just delayed, not cancelled. Right, KC. And KC has broken down from the megaphone. It's made the minimum retracement target at the 38.2% fib, and it's backtesting broken support. This could be going lower, however, and I would have liked to see this go a bit lower and test strong double support at the monthly pivot, weekly pivot. It hasn't done that. It doesn't need to do that. I'm wondering whether we're forming some sort of an overall bull flag here, which means that we're going to get back to this area here. However, of course, the weekly pivot only stays the weekly pivot for the remainder of this week, and we are running out of week. SB. SB is retesting the high here after that support break. We've got no current divergence. 60-minute sell signal reached target. Our overall outlook here is bullish. So while this could be the second high of a double top, I am looking at unfinished business at a retest of this high here, and we have bounced at weekly pivot. So we may just go higher and continue higher. CC is broken down from the rising wedge. I think this is a flag breaking down. This should deliver a minimum target at a retest of this low in the 1800 area. Stan's thinking it may well continue down from there. I don't really have any strong feelings on the subject. Looking short, monthly pivot should now be solid resistance at 1915. ZW. ZW, this very, very much looks like a small bull flag for me. A bull flag channel, to be specific. I think it might have another run down within the channel, maybe get down to 430.5. We're still on a sell signal. That hasn't reached the possible near miss target yet, but I'm thinking this is going to deliver a retest of this high within 2 or 3 days, in all probability. 2 or 3 trading days, obviously, excluding the weekend. Right, GBP USD. Not a lot of action on here since all the excitement around here. Still got a possible head and shoulders forming. No current divergence. I'm keeping an open mind. We made this target here, so I think there is another one slightly above on the bigger picture that we probably need to make before having any kind of significant reversal. But I think Stan's looking bullish on this for months into about the 1.45 area on the primary scenario. So we're relatively early days. EURUSD. DX may be about to rally here. We may be putting in the second low of a double bottom. This may be the second high of a small double top. And we shall see. No current divergence. We've made the second high. Guess we have to see what happens now. I quite like the little double top here and the little double bottom on DX, but it may just continue down. On DX, we've got strong unfinished business below at 90.99. It may need to go directly there. Right. USD JPY. USD JPY has broken up, is back testing the weekly pivot from below, and we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. I'm quite liking the prospects for reversal here. I would note this little head and shoulders, perfect, broken up slightly. If this is going to fail into a retest of the low, this would be the ideal place to do that. So watching that, if we break and convert the weekly pivot, then we've got a pretty decent looking IHS which is looking for a retest of this high. Really at this stage it's one or the other. USD CAD, I was looking at what was looking like a bear flag forming. That's now broken down. We have continued down. We have an open double top target, and it's a nice double top target in the 1.2325 area. I'm not seeing any reason we wouldn't go towards that now. So I'm looking lower. Australian dollar. Australian dollar is still within this rising wedge. It's been moving up today and away from the obvious next target, which is rising wedge support, currently in the 0.7806 area. I would like to see this trend line tested, and I'm expecting to see it tested before I see this trend line tested. Looking for reversal. There is NZ and Australian dollar have been tracking well today, as they often do. I do have a possible wedge resistance here on NZ. It's only a possible, and we don't have any negative divergence. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, that is a quick wrap up of everything. So I'll have this posted as soon as possible, and I'll catch you guys on the Twitter feed.